Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 30, the Big 30. And before we just jump in, let's drop that beat. Hey, guys.
Yo, what is up?
Hello.
Can you believe
Dirty 30. Oh, you're going to say?
Thanks for saying it.
I'm glad Glenn said that.
I knew someone was going to say it.
Disgusting
Would it be me?
30.
Would it be you? No, but for real, can you guys believe we've done 30 episodes? And that's not even counting the minis. We've also done 30
full.
mini. No,
Right,
32.
30
32 minis. No, is that right? 22 minis.
22 minis.
And
yeah.
30 full episodes.
That's 50
pretty
plus
wild.
right there. Yeah, that's
'cause,
crazy.
That's 50 plus.
I did get an email. Remember that? That we've uploaded 50 episodes already.
Oh, yeah.
So, including the minis. Man. But we're not even like a year in
No.
yet, right? So, thank you for being consistent, guys.
Yeah.
And thank you everybody else for listening.
That's what I was going to say. Thank you for hanging out with us.
I'm just taking the words out of your mouth.
Oh,
Would you
there
stop
go.
that? Dirty 30.
I know.
Thanking the audience. Jeez. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, we're on the same wavelength, which is great for podcast hosts to be on. So it's great. But yeah, we're kind of just going to be talking about some pretty fundamental eBay seller stuff today, which is fun. Always good to kind of check in with some of the basics, right? Help us to keep the main things, but know what tools we have at our disposal. And last time I checked, you guys, a new month has just turned over in the calendar. It's now
Exactly.
June, so it's time to touch base with some things.
What do you guys feel about June? I feel like June is like that transition month of like hot, cold. Are we ready for summer, or
Yes.
are we ready to have a slow summer or not slow summer?
No slow summers around here.
Slow pace of life wise, not slow sales wise.
Yeah, no slow
would be
sales.
ideal.
I feel like it's that's what happened. It's getting to me that we're having a really long daylight day now,
Yes.
and then like
Just the
I
best.
just got off a nap, so I was just like, like it feels like days are way longer, and I'm trying to wake up earlier now. So we're waking up at 8:30. That's earlier for us.
That is way early for you.
Yeah, way early. Like it's like 9, 10. 10 was like the usual. So that's kind of June for us. But I'm excited. Year is almost done. Halfway. We're halfway.
done.
Halfway mark.
Yeah, I feel like the days are going by so fast that I can't even stop it. I don't know.
You need some more
I'm just trying to
sunlight,
catch
Glenn.
up. I know.
Glenn's, yeah, more sunlight. Imagine like they'd be like
More. Any
Glenn's only
sunlight.
sleeping like 6 hours at this
This guy's like a Dracula. I'm just trying to like go through. It's like listing, selling, baby, working out. I mean, being an adult is rough.
It is rough sometimes. Yeah. One of my favorite things about where I live now is walking around my neighborhood. I live in a really cool old neighborhood, and I love to walk around it all the time. But this summer has been amazing because last summer I had just moved. So I was in my house all summer unpacking things. And this year already, I mean, it's just now June, but I've gotten to like go on long walks around my neighborhood in the middle of the day when it's like bright and sunny, and it is so refreshing. I love it so much. So I hope
Gotta
to do
get that
that the
fresh
rest
air.
of the summer. Yeah, that makes the day feel longer. Like to go out and actually experience, when the sun is really high in the sky like that, and then you have a whole like part B of the day afterwards. It's awesome.
And this last weekend was kind of rough because it was like, or 2 weekends ago, 3 weekends. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. It was like graduations.
What day
and,
is it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then those like birthday parties and stuff. And then once you have a kid, you get invited to parties.
For
I had
other kids.
Exactly. There's a friend there. He's followed the channel for a long time. I've known him since high school and stuff. He's like, when are you gonna put out a new video? Like, I'm getting bored. And I'm like,
Wow.
you can
no
listen
pressure,
to the
come on.
podcast.
Entertain yourself, bro. Just
Go listen to the podcast. There's new episodes every week. And he's like, yeah, this is the 5th party that we've been
Oh
going
my
to.
gosh.
So I'm like, at what point do you draw the line and you're like, you know what? I'm exhausted. no more birthday parties.
Yeah.
We went to 2 and I was done. Like, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know how much I could do.
So much
So you're-
cake.
Yeah, you're either running around trying to catch your kid, or you're out trying to socialize with other dads that probably are in their 5th birthday party too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true though. Being like overly scheduled. I mean, yeah, end of May is kind of prime time for that, right? Because it is graduation season. There's birthdays. There's weddings, right? Wedding season is in full tilt. It's like so many events.
Oh, yeah. Too
But-
many events.
Well, for me, I love June because it's my birthday month.
There we go.
Which I'm not
There
the
we
kind of
go.
person, by the way, who celebrates a whole birthday month, but I do really like June. It's always been like a fun time. Growing up, it's like school is finally out, and it's like, yes, it's that very beginning, fresh summer kind of thing. And then it was my birthday, so it's like, really double fun. Yeah. But I don't know. It's not as fun to have birthdays now. But
We're
I'm
turning
still-
21. It's really important.
Yay! Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do really enjoy when I actually have the wherewithal to like plan something fun and do that. So maybe this
Yeah.
year I'll be able to do that.
Well, you have to keep us posted then.
I know.
So, but back to summertime. June, sales, eBay. We're talking eBay. And running promotions or ads, or how to kind of get your store going. If it doesn't necessarily have to be through summer. I mean, it could be all year round to use these little tactics to get more buyers in, repeat buyers, and things like that. Sales have been pretty good. And again, I'm still just been listing every day, small amount, like 4 to 5 listings a day. Still being consistent at it. I'm really trying to like spend the weekends catching. Like Saturdays has been more of like my reorganizing inventory day, and then Sunday, partial Sunday, is kind of like catching up on photos and just getting photos ready for the week. And then every morning, I can get like 4 to 5 listings done. So it's kind of like been pretty consistent there, but I think I need to add a little bit more. Like I've been doing 4 to 5 listings. I think I need to bump that to like 8 or 9 because I feel like more
Okay.
stuff's coming in and I'm running behind.
So what keeps you? What in your brain makes you go, I'm going to do 9 listings and not 10 listings?
10's pushing it. One more.
How
it's
can you
over the
commit
limit.
to
That's
9?
double
That makes my skin crawl.
What
Dirty
about
30.
7 or 9.
7 is
They're like weird
okay.
numbers.
7 is okay. 9 is like pushing it.
Nah.
I don't know. I just can't do 9.
Fine, 11.
Yeah,
You're like, that's even
11's
worse.
fine. 10 plus a
Oh,
bonus.
what? 11's
That's
fine.
Totally different. Totally different.
or a dozen. I just say a dozen.
Oh, dirty
Just a
dozen.
Yeah. But no, I think it's a pretty cool topic that things that we're about to discuss, because when we were coming up with a topic and the idea of like what can we share to the people that are listening here that we are actually doing.
Right.
And obviously all of us have been selling for over 7+ years now. I think that's actually, I had to kind of like, because like a lot of this are out of habits already. There are things that we've always been doing, and it actually made me question like, are this tactics that we're using actually work and stuff like that. And so I think it's a really good point for anybody that's just starting or anybody that has been doing this to actually audit your your tactics or your strategy on how we run sales and promotions, and especially getting into the summer, right? The summer slowdown. I mean, I think, was it last year, Glenn, or the year before, that you were just like having like record breaking? So I mean, you were like having more sales during summer than you've ever had.
Yeah.
Was it
Even
last
like
year?
almost Q4. I think it was last
I
year.
think
right?
it
We were at
was
eBay Open,
last
right?
year. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
was last year. And that was mostly because that's like when the first big bulk of like the Nike Golf came in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just listing like crazy, getting everything on there.
Way
and
more
it was,
than 9 a day.
Yeah, way more than 9 a day. And this was more
I mean,
for
he had
like
storage unit, so
yeah, this was like I was just separating and organizing every day. And I guess for something like golf shoes, it was like prime,
Yeah.
summer, something that they're always searching.
Yeah.
So that really helped a lot. So summer during that time was amazing. And then a lot of the golf stuff kind of slowed down. I think, for some Christmas gifts was fine, but I think
Right.
leading up to like October, November, you could definitely see a slowdown compared to like the summer numbers.
Yeah. Recently, I think, going off of that, seasonality, right? We could always quote it as seasonality. And I think that's the key factor to it. I think we cannot just be complacent with, well, first, our inventory or just the style of inventory that we have and just saying, like, eventually it's going to hit. But I think it's just what happened to your store then is it was just a perfect timing. And what I've actually seen from that is, okay, what can we do for my personal store, me and JC's store, to kind of like, in a way, mimic a success that happened to you. And one of the things that we've kind of like derived out of that was shorts. It's not a higher ASP, but, everybody's going to be wearing shorts during summer. And Anna has seen all the shorts we've had and helped us organize it.
I think I maybe touched every single pair of shorts you had, actually.
Yeah. And then when, doing all of that work ahead of time, now it's paying off because, like, we're at least selling 2 to 3 pairs of shorts every day now.
That's awesome.
And I'm assuming it's just going to be more. And then now there's more people, like, kind of like, I love the fact that they message you on eBay. It's like, hey, can I buy the other one for bundle for $65? Hence that I wish we had a bundle feature on eBay.
Listen, we've asked.
We're asking. So now what I've done is, like, just message me on all the shorts that you want, and I'll send you an offer from there. So I was just giving him like a extra 10% discount, and he bought a bundle. So I was like, I'll take that anytime of the day because I'm saving down shipping anyway, especially with Ground Advantage. So, anything else that thoughts on heading through June and summer on this season?
I want to ask you something really quick, Ken.
Go ahead.
Have you ever shared with our beautiful listeners what you say when people send you an offer that you want to accept?
Oh, you're getting it. You're getting it.
That's so good.
I've had to say it multiple times, because...
And your voice just gets higher and higher every time.
Yeah.
You're getting it.
Oh, you're getting it. You're offering $55 on a $60 show. You're getting it. So,
those are the offers we like.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, like, I'm looking at, like, wait, like, why you offer me like $60 for this? And then you look it up and it's like $69.99. I'm like, oh, you're getting it. Yeah. I just had a shoe last night. Somebody like offered me $115 and I'm like, what in the world? Like, this is way over than what I'm willing to accept. And then we're gonna go to the strategy later. I'm gonna tell the story what happens.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Well, great.
Perfect
great,
segue.
Yeah, great teaser.
Yeah.
Teasing me too much. Please tell me.
Yeah.
Glenn's like, actually, I want to know right now.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know how I could get that pricing.
Yeah.
Anna, no. Going back to Anna. Go ahead.
Oh, well, just about June. So I feel like, I was a little out of office, if you will, for a couple weeks in DC, and then I was like home for a week, and then my in-laws were visiting for a week. So it's been a very like off-kilter month. Which again, great. I love having the flexibility to kind of do that. But yeah, I feel like I don't want this for me to be the beginning of a summer slowdown. I want it to be a little bit of a jump start because it's been a little bit slower since I've traveled and had longer handling time and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to be hitting yard sales really hard this summer, to be like really consistently sourcing and listing again. Might even be looking for a photographer help in my local area, which I haven't had since I moved here, to help me avoid bottlenecks and death piles, because I don't believe in having death piles. I don't want to have a death pile.
Nope.
I'm not a death pile person. But, I do want to keep up my momentum sourcing and just having that fresh inventory. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on. But I've really learned a lot from both of you guys. ever since I've known you. And one thing that I think has influenced the way I'm thinking about sales and promotions now in a time like this and the beginning of summer and stuff is just like how, you know, in a lot of situations, the speed you can get your capital back to reinvest it really, really matters. And that's not something I ever cared about, having such a low cost of goods for most of the history of my store. But now that I'm trying to source a little bit better, higher quality, higher cost of goods, like this is, you know, I'm looking at my inventory as a whole and going like, okay, how can I squeeze some extra capital out of this now? And not as much with regard to like, how much is this individual item selling for? It's more about like the volume and just like squeezing some cash out of the store. So I feel a lot more comfortable doing that now. Like I used to really get hung up on some items, even though I was always making a profit because my cost of goods was so low. You know, there were a lot of things that I just wanted to hold out for because I just knew that they would sell for what I wanted eventually, and they still might. But the truth is, like, it's worth the convenience in a way, or like the timetable to be shorter, to just go ahead and like, you know, sell it a little cheaper or take an offer or whatever. So definitely trying to keep that kind of mindset as I'm setting up my promotions. I'm being a little more aggressive with my sales, and I'm sure we're going to get into it, but you know, stacking a couple different strategies to kind of squeeze my inventory so that I can have some momentum going into the summer instead of like the drift into the proverbial summer slowdown, which we've all heard of.
Well,
and probably
let's get right into it, and let's get really tactical and strategy. Share the things that have worked for us a lot, and I think Glenn has been the most dialed in with this one since the last time we talked about all the promotion. I think he's the master of short-term sales.
Just say it. Glenn's the best seller. Just say it.
No. So
I know it's true.
So he's the oldest one here. That's the only thing.
That's what it.
That's
the
what
oldest,
it is.
the wisest, the most experienced.
Yeah, he's been selling on eBay for over 30 years.
King of doing more of what's working.
Okay.
King of
so,
that.
So Glenn, let's dive into it. What were like? What's the latest tactics that have been working for you, and what are like the different tactics that you've always applied as far as sales and promotions?
Well, really in the marketing tools, I'll go and I'll run a sales event. And if you go to that tab and you kind of go through the dates and everything, I think when I first tried it out though, I was like, why isn't this starting? But you can actually start it now,
right?
Instead of like setting a day or a time. That really threw me off in the very beginning.
Yeah.
So if you're a rookie kind of like listening to this, please start it now if that's what you're wanting to do. Or you can, I guess, wait for it to start on its own on a weekend or on a certain day or something if you want to put that in.
And I think the time there is random too, right?
Yeah, it's really random.
It's arbitrary.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it also says somewhere like asterisk, it could take up to 12 hours to be
True.
to kick in. But I think it's like 5 to 15 minutes. I guess
it has never taken 12 hours. Even for my 10,000 items or 12,000 at my most, like it just took minutes. But I don't know
it's
why
definitely
that
a lot quicker.
Disclaimer is there.
Yeah. Maybe it used to take that long. It got faster.
Yeah. They haven't removed the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Under promise, over deliver.
Yeah, since Glenn started with money order.
Money order.
Wow.
And so, and also by default, they give you your sale event is like a month long. And that's another thing too that I tried, and I was like, I feel like there's no urgency there. Like I'm running a sale, and I guess as a buyer, when they click and they go to your item, they can see a timer on there when it's gonna end. So if there's an urgency there that it's going to end tomorrow, then it's kind of funny. It's like usually those last 24 hours, you'll get some good sales in.
Yeah.
So if I run a sale, I would probably say try like 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, and try those out and see how that works. I used to do like only certain items, like maybe some older stuff that has been sitting there for a while. But then it got to a point where like I had so many listings, and I was like, you know what? Let's just try the whole store and see what happens.
You're like, would I like to sell all of this? Yes,
exactly. So I was like, I've tried different things on the sales event. So what works for me though is a 3-day or a 5-day, having that urgency, and then just running the entire store, but also just kind of naming the event like a big or like a holiday sale or a big weekend sale or something to do with something that's coming up.
Current, right? Yeah.
Yeah, something that's current.
So it's not for the heck of it sale because
exactly.
I feel like it's sale
Yeah.
because I want to make some money sale.
Exactly. And so I think that really works good on the sales event. Now I don't raise up prices or mess with any prices.
I was gonna ask
exactly.
you that. So when you're pricing your items, right?
Yeah.
Are you like within 10 to 20%? What's your pricing strategy, knowing that you're gonna run a quick sale or a short-term sale? Is that how you go through pricing now? Because you have a sales strategy.
Yeah.
Do you build that in already, or how walk us through that?
Well, the most I've ever done was like 20% off on a sale event, and those for like the older items.
Okay. Yeah.
So for the most part, when I do run sales, I'll do like 10. I did a random like 12%, and that did good too. 15 I think is a little too much, depending on maybe what you're selling or what your buffer zone and profit margins are.
Yeah.
15 might be a little pushing it, but usually I do 10% because I already have that buffer anyway on offers.
Okay.
When someone sends me offers.
So you're gonna take that in offers anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if I'm running a 10% off and then another $10 offer comes in, I'm kind of like, what does that look like? And I have to really look at that item to see what I paid for. And see if that's worth it. How long have I had it? Things like that. Seasonality. So those things kind of come into play. But I think what helps is already having that little buffer for offers that I'm already used to. So for the most part, I don't really get a lot of offers when I run the sales. A lot of them are actually just kind of buy it now.
Because it's a shorter term sale, right? Like it's like because there's a thing, right? Like your offer is good for 24 hours. But like a lot of times, like as a consumer, you're like, wait, like somebody could just buy it because the sale is going to end. But I think what's the cool thing that I think as far as strategy, Glenn, the urgency of people wanting to buy the item, and I think this is what you've done, and this is I think we in our store have picked it up. You don't display your full quantity.
Oh yeah, that's.
I think this is a kicker on that sale, right? Like let's say like when Glenn has 10 items. He would. How much? What's your strategy? Talk to us about it.
Well, I only list 2 at a time. So
2 at a time.
As of right now, like Luka jerseys because of the playoffs and all that, right? Like, I'll list 2 at a time. One of them sells, and then it tells them already. Of course, like there's only one left.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna get this, there we go. So, when that offer comes in and I'm gonna accept it, then I will revise and then change the the quantity back to 2 and then accept it, or 3 and then accept it and I have 2 again, something like that. But I've done it once when I first was like, you know what, let me just list all of them. And I remember like a lot of the snapbacks I had like a ridiculous amount. Like some of these Laker hats I had like 30 of them.
Yeah.
And like the quantity is sitting there 30.
Right.
Like there's no urgency at all. It's like this guy's got a ton of them. Well, I don't need to buy this right now. How long is it going to take for this guy to sell 30 snapbacks?
Yeah.
It's going to take a while. So at that point I was like 2 at a time. But here's the thing though, if you are going to do that, you have to know your inventory numbers 100%.
So you keep a separate sheet on that, right?
Yeah, spreadsheet on those.
For me, I use SKUs. I use this custom SKU on eBay. So I use like 5 items or something like that. So I kind of like, so if I have our rule is like 3 listed, max 3, and then I always like so 3 listings, and then on SKU I have 5, and then I just deduct everyone every time something sells or when it goes down. But we do have to like run into like issues like, oh, it's kind of like it becomes like an unlisted item, right? Because you sold that listing, kind of like goes away, and then you forget that you still have one. So I think that's one of the things that you have to be on top of that.
I think with the custom SKU, because right now, of course, I use it for like what box is it in, and what did I pay
the
for
bin
it?
System, right? Something
Yeah,
like that.
bin system and my cost of goods
Cost
on
of
it.
goods.
But I would like to do that probably just to add the quantity.
Yeah.
The thing that I don't like is that when I get offers in, and I can't see the custom SKU.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? Like,
We'll take that to him.
okay, I like that. Someone offered me, I think it was like 110 on a jersey, and if my custom
to
SKU
go
was
out of
there,
it.
I have
you
to
have
go
to
to
go-
revise to
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what that is and see
Yeah.
what my cost of good was. I'd rather just see it there. Hey, I paid $40 for it. That's great money there. I can do the calculations and see.
Yeah.
I can accept right away instead of going back and forth. So, that's what I would throw in there.
Going back to, is there anything else that you use differently, that you do differently besides like the short term? When you create this, do you like, so let's say, how many sales do you have going on at one time? Do you have like scheduled sales already? Because like from what it seems like, you run your whole store as a sale,
Yeah.
correct?
Mhm,
And then
mhm.
do you have like, so okay, so you schedule 3 right this weekend, and then if you run a sale for this weekend, do you create another one, or do you wait till that end and create another one?
I'll
or
wait
do you
till
have
it
a
ends.
schedule?
No, I'll wait till it ends, and even then, I'll let it just kind of like run a regular store at regular price for
Okay.
another 3 to 5 days.
So it's kind of like
and
a
then-
refresh or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
So you're actually really running a sale, because like
Yeah.
sometimes like it just kicks in, right? Cause
Yeah.
Oh, you
I
mean
think
me?
no, that's what I'm saying. We're
No,
gonna
that
get to your strategy,
I
because
know.
Anna's like,
You're talking about me right now.
yeah, because like when was it? Like we were like November or something like that. And
Yeah.
Anna's like, yeah, I got my sales scheduled for the end of the year. I was like, what the crap?
I just did it again for June. But I'll talk about it when it's my turn.
Yeah, that's how. Anna just did it right now while we were talking.
No, I did it
She's
earlier
a
today.
robot.
Thank you very much.
Uh,
I
go
have a
ahead.
question though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you're talking about running a sale promotion, but I assume you're talking about a markdown sale, right? Like
Yes,
20% off or 10% off, right? Do you ever use the order discount type of promotion?
I
Spend
haven't.
100, get something like that. Something
Yeah.
like that.
And even the coupons, I've done a couple of times, but I don't know. I didn't really see the results that I liked compared to like running the
Just a
the
regular
markdown
sale.
sales
Yeah.
events, I guess.
I'm the same way. I totally gravitate to the markdown sale. I never really use. I've dabbled with all of these things, but I've never stuck with them.
Right.
The order discount, the shipping discount, and the volume discount.
Yeah.
Like
I think
I've tried
that-
them, but I don't
Yeah.
consistently do them because the markdown sale seems to be what
Is
always works.
that a? I'd be curious to ask eBay why, or like the percentage of views, right? Is it because maybe we're kind of like that? We're not a warehouse we're not a warehouse sale, that for some warehouses it matters so much that
Yeah.
they have to get their order volume higher, right? Or their order value up. It's kind of like interesting that we're all aware of it, but we haven't. I know for a fact that we haven't had good success for it because we haven't really consistently used it and really kind of
Yeah.
like optimized it, right?
Well, and for me, like I've always kind of assumed that was because, I have a miscellaneous inventory. I've
Right.
always assumed there's probably certain types of products, certain categories, certain niches where this really makes a lot more sense. But you guys are a lot more niche down than I am, and it sounds like you're in the same boat as me
Yeah.
with those.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Just curious.
So Anna, should we go to Anna's
go ahead.
strategy?
Sure. Well, as I have said a million times, have a very low cost of goods. My average has historically been something like 82 cents an item. However, it's probably a little bit higher now since I've been pushing my cost of goods up just a little bit. But I haven't rerun the numbers, so I don't know how much that has moved the, 6 years of average before that. So probably didn't move it much, if anything. But anyway, I have a lot of room for, I mean, there's other expenses too, right? Like we always talk about this. There's other costs to count than the cost of goods. There's space, there's, you know, the time and effort you put into listing things. In a lot of cases, I paid someone else to help me process the item. So there's that money that's been technically like sunk into that item. So, you know, it's not just about the cost of goods, but regardless, I have pretty good margins on every item in my store. So I'm not afraid to do like sweeping sales at times. And I've talked about this before too, but like when I was getting ready to move, I did like 50% off. And, you know, that did move a lot of stuff. I didn't make a lot more money, but my whole point at that time was to just move a lot of stuff because I didn't want to move it physically across the country. But even now, I'm kind of doing a similar strategy to Glenn where I'm doing the markdown sales, but I usually schedule them because I just won't check in with it often enough. So I sit down and look at the month, and usually what happens now is I schedule kind of a bigger sale on the weekend, like a bigger chunk off, and then during the week I have some other sale, but it's like a lower number, right? It's 10% off instead of like 40 or something. And then on the weekends I do want to kind of create that urgency. And also I think there's so much to be said for just the psychology of people seeing the strike through pricing where they can see like, oh, this was what this was listed for. Yeah. And it's marked down. I think that does a lot as well. But another thing that I try to leave room for, even if I am doing a really big percentage off for like a quick flash sale or whatever, is I try to leave room to send offers on items still at 5% off because that's the minimum you can do to send an offer. But really, I just want to use that as an extra tool to put it in a buyer's face and say like, hey, like, you know, the automated message or whatever is like, here's your chance to get this item at a great price, but they may not have even been aware that it was on sale. Like maybe they hadn't seen that. So if they get an offer from me that's 5% off of the sale price, then they might realize like, wow, this is really on sale right now. I should go ahead and buy this. So I keep that in mind when I'm picking my like percentage off, but I do the same thing. Like it's my whole store. Occasionally, you know, I'll not include certain really high or really low ends of the price spectrum in my store. So sometimes it won't be like my entire inventory, but it'll be my entire inventory within a certain value range for like what it's currently priced at when I'm setting the sale up. So those are kind of like, that's kind of how I use it. And yeah, I've used coupons. I'm really interested in buyer groups, which is kind of a newer thing. And a big like component of utilizing buyer groups is sending coupons to these different buyer groups. And so I want to be more intentional about that and see if I get traction with that, because just setting up a regular coupon and having it like out there, or, you know, I don't know, I just have never had much traction with that. So I don't focus on it, but I do want to see if the kind of more targeted approach with the buyer groups makes the coupons do better. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think on the note on coupon, as a user, as a buyer on eBay, I pay attention to those a lot. I'm usually scouring for deals a lot of times, and those attract me. And it's kind of like weird, like now that you brought that up. But the thing is, like when I'm looking at it, like coupons stand out more when they're within a category. Like, you know, I'm big on tech and gadgets and stuff like that. So I see the tech and gadget 20% off Memorial Day weekend sale. So what happens is I actually end up going to that page.
Yeah, the category page.
Yeah, the category page, and then I go to the sellers thing. So, you know, like I'm probably thinking that it feels like it has to have a landing page, right? It's like, okay, you have to go to a mall. And then once you go in the mall, then you go to the brand that you like or the store that you like and see what they have on sale. But, you know, like the psychology of like, what if you just walk to a random mall? What are the chances of you stumbling into a store that's running a sale and then 99.9 of the mall is not running a sale? Because it's usually all of them have a sale. So I think the psychology of the weekend holiday sale that Glenn was talking about, I think really like applies to, it's like, okay, like everybody's like in a buying mood already, so it seems like
Yeah.
if you're not on a sale, right? Because like they see it in the emails, right? Emails,
Yeah.
Nike 20% off, Converse, like all those. You get emails. You get Best Buy hounds me so much because I haven't spent money there yet. You know, like and they know too,
They're like,
right?
come
Like,
back, Ken, come back.
yeah, and then if you're like looking at deals online, like I was like, oh, you're not having a sale. Well, Best Buy and everybody else was
Everyone's
like hounding
having
me on
sale.
my email, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like that's kind of like the mentality of like you have to be missing out if you're not running a sale on a weekend on a sale.
Yeah. Well, and even
understand.
within eBay as the mall, like you're saying, I mean, you know, we've heard eBay kind of discuss this before in seller events, but the whole enthusiast buyer thing, right? Like there's sneakerheads who come and buy sneakers from you guys, and they
Yeah.
spend a lot of other money in a
For
bunch
other-
of other categories on the platform. And I have to think that kind of like group sale mentality probably encourages them to like do some of that other shopping at these peak sale times, right? Or these times where they're getting deals on other good stuff that they want. And I don't know, that's where I feel like too the power of the watch list like kind of comes in. Like, I don't know if you guys do this, but I will sometimes, you know, if I buy something on eBay, like I do a lot of shopping on eBay myself, but if I buy something for myself that's like from my watch list, I always go through and look at everything else on my watch list too. Like, is anything else like on some super deal right now that I didn't know about? And I don't know. I do that on Amazon and on eBay, so you just never know.
Oh, on Amazon.
Well, like a wish list.
Did I tell you this on Amazon? If you add things to your cart, next thing you know, they start running like a 15-minute sale only.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed
Wow.
that?
No.
Yeah. I was like, you know, like I just add stuff there, and next thing you know, I get like a ping while shopping, like 10 minutes left. I'm like, what? Like, this is
Like
not
a
sale
lightning
event,
deal.
right? This is not. Yeah.
And
It's
you're like,
that.
what are the
Yeah.
odds?
So now, because I
Jeez.
was like, yeah, it probably was like a perks to me because I shop a lot or something like that on there. Like, and the next thing you know, JC literally tells me like, hey babe, like Amazon. It's like, oh crap. So now, now we tell each other, it's like just add everything that you want, like, you know, buy or something like that, you know, to just get
I'm
that
totally
alert.
gonna try that. I'm gonna
Yeah,
put everything
yeah.
on my wish list,
Yeah.
like in my cart, and see what
Yeah,
happens.
just put it on your cart, because like, and then whenever I check out, you can always like check out this only.
Right.
Item. But,
You got to be
but, like,
careful
that
though.
is-
Can't have Butterfingers. You're gonna end up buying stuff you weren't trying to buy.
That's fine. Well, the cool part about Amazon is like it always returns.
Oh
so
my
easy.
gosh.
Trust me, I have like 6 returns on the.
This episode not brought to you by Amazon.
They're like, hello, Ken. You forgot things in your cart.
yeah. But Anna, is there anything else on the promotions in sale that you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, the whole buyer groups thing is really interesting. If you haven't looked at that in your seller hub yet, I would just encourage you to go look at it. It's pretty straightforward, but there are different groups of people who may be interested in your items for different reasons. You know, there's recent buyers, there's people who are watchers, there's all kinds of other ones. And you can specifically target those groups with a coupon. You can also kind of interact with that with a newsletter. So if you've never looked at that, you know, I encourage you to look at it. I don't have a ton of experience with it, but I think it's really interesting. And, you know, when you're talking about trying to just find the buyers who want your items, like this is a warm to hot pool of people, right? Like these are people who are more likely than the average bear to actually buy your item. So I think it's kind of cool that we have that available now. So I'm going to do some more with it. But Ken, did you want to discuss possibly the other side of this coin of...
Yeah, I think you know, we could touch into it. Maybe we could have a separate a discussion on the promoted listings. But I think that's one of the things that I thought about when we were discussing this. You know, especially like summer slowdown. We talk about we were just out for 3 weeks too.
Yeah.
Traffic has just dropped drastically. That's what happens when you put your store on vacation mode.
Yep.
Or extended, handling time, because people need their stuff in 2 days or 3 days now. So if you're not shipping to me within the
we're all
next 3 days,
conditioned,
you're out, right? Basically, to jump start my store, I kind of put a 5% promotion on most of my listings. Same as Anna, like I usually don't promote the rare ones that I have or the more expensive ones that I have, because you're gonna be paying an arm and leg 5% on a $500 sale, right?
Oh yeah, no thanks.
So those are exempted. But I think the interesting that I think, give me your input. I think I'm the only one that use number specific, dollar specific sale instead of percentage. I do a lot of $10 off, $20 off, $50 off.
Interesting. And is that off of an item or off of the order?
One of the things that no, it's literally like, so when you're creating a promotion, right? You can choose percentage or you can choose dollars.
Right, but is that
I choose dollars.
Percentage or dollars off of the item or off of the whole
Yeah,
order?
off the item. Off the
Okay,
item. Yeah,
per
off
item,
the item.
okay.
Yeah, so it's same as create a markdown event sale, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've learned, I mean, we have literally discussed it with Sneakers Envy. He said, like, based on his
Sneakers
experience.
Envy. Shout out to Sneakers
Yeah,
Envy.
shout out to Sneakers Envy. Based on like the different sales he's been running, he said like it gets more traction when it's over 25% off. So I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, because he did a side by side sale. I was like, okay, like, so like, how can we get there, right? Obviously, we don't want to lose money.
Yeah.
But one of his like extreme strategy, he just doubled his price all of the store, because you could bulk, right? Because when you bulk edit, you can increase your pricing.
Yeah.
So
by a
you
percentage.
bulk edit and then you increase price by 100%. So you double your store, right? And then you run a 50% off sale. And for the buyer, it's just a giant strike through. Obviously, I think it works for like sneakers and stuff like that, right? Especially like a $200 sneaker, but like it'd be impossible for me to say like my shorts is $120 and then now I'm selling it to you for 60.
Your shorts.
Because at that point it's like retail.
Yeah,
because like it has to be like relevant to the retail, right?
Right.
But given that idea, so now this is like a thing that we've implemented like probably this year or like the second quarter this year, is now I price plus 50 on the market value, plus 50. And then I would run $50 plus $50.
Oh.
Yeah. So anything, right? Like, cause
even the shorts?
Yeah. No, not the shorts. Not the
Okay.
shorts. The shorts are different. So the shorts, because my short strategy is I list them at retail.
Yeah.
Obviously, I paid way under retail. And then I run a 30% off. So that's a percentage of tactic I have.
Gotcha.
Because like
Okay.
the shorts were like ranges in like, 55, 65, 80, and some were like 35. So like that one was like very hard to group. So when I run a sale, my mentality is group sale.
Yeah.
Because when they click on that current promotion, it takes them to that all the promotions on all the items under the sale. So my goal is to boost up order quantity. So when I'm already buying shorts from Ken, if they click that promotion, it will show all the promoted items. So usually I would do like summer short sale, 30% off. So when they click that thing, it would show all the shorts and they could literally filter through their size. So that's kind of like how I do that. Now on the sneakers end, for example, like Nike Dunks. Right now, all Nike Dunks are like between $80 to $150. So I would just do Nike Dunk, and I would just increase all those pricing by 50, and then I would run like a $60 off sale. So in reality, I'm only giving them $10 off.
Right.
But on the
It looks
spectrum,
like you're getting 60 off.
they're getting $60 off, right? But it's also relevant because at that point, yeah, a shoe could be way over retail. Like a Nike Dunk retails for $110, and then Hustle be selling it for $160, but I'm getting it for $90. So it's kind of like relevant to that shoe. So that's one of the tactics that we do in I think one of the things that we do very differently is like we run a sale by group or by brand. So we do a short sale.
Right.
We do a Jordan sale. We do an Adidas sale. So that's kind of like how we do like a New Balance sale. That's how we do it. And then I have like a clearance sale. Like gone. Need this gone sale. And those are just items that are been listed for like over, 6 months in our store. And it's like, oh, this has been sitting here too long. I need that money back. I need to spend more money on a different item. So that's kind of like how we've been. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Here's a question for you. So what I'm not hearing you say is that you're thinking, about your profit margin and pricing your item based on what you paid for it. Like, yes, of course, you have to keep your profit margin in mind. You know what you paid for it. But like you just said with the shorts, you're like, I paid way under retail for those.
Right.
So I'm basically not even worried about it. And the more important thing is, how is this being priced relative to the retail price, to the current market price for this thing? Do you feel like just in your interactions with lots of other sellers, like people get really hung up on like, well, what did I pay for this? And is that because their margins are so small, or is it because they're hung up on, I want to 10x this and I don't want to take anything less, or I want to 5x this and I don't want to take anything less? Like, what do you think that's about? Because it sounds like that's not part of your calculus, and I think it's really interesting.
I think that comes into like your buying criteria or like your buying call, right? Like right now, my major rule of thumb is I want to pay 70% off retail. Like when we talk about discounted items, I want to pay 70% off retail.
When you're sourcing.
Right. Like, so $100 item, I'd be willing to go as high as 30, right? Relevant to sell through and everything like that, right?
Right.
That's
given that it's
like,
a good item overall.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how I see things now. And it's just made it way easier. That's why I could make like, okay, for example, like a shorts, right? If I paid 70% off on the shorts, I'm way more capable of giving you, right? Let's just say $100 shorts. I paid 30 for it. And at that point, if I run a 30% off, you're
still making 40.
Plus minus, I'm still double my money.
Right.
Right? Plus minus. And then put promotions in there, put all the promoted listings.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of like how I see things now. I mean, obviously, I think this year has been the year that we've focused more on the buy costs. Like, like we've discussed that this year going to be like a tougher year. So our goal is to just buy the item as low as we can.
Yes.
Because, like, who knows where the economy goes and everything like that. So I think that's kind of like where the mentality is, but also too, when I'm saying that at a point where, like you've had experience, like you have like over 1,000 listings and everything like that, you can still do that like individually and itemize it. But is it really worth the $5-10 that you're gonna squeeze out of that item?
Yeah.
Instead of just letting it go. You're getting it, right? Like I've said that you're getting it phrase this year so much because I'm way more leaning to like, okay, I'll play with you. Like you're getting $20 off this $75 item because I paid $20. Like at the end of the day, I'm still doubling my money, and then I'll get the other one. I'll get a full price on the other one because I would be curious to see what happens. Maybe we could run a data test of like how many people actually pay at your asking rate and then the best offer.
Yeah.
Because I'm leaning towards it's plus minus 10%. Right? Because
who pays the full price?
Right. Who pays the full price, or who pays the best offer or discounted? Because like going back to that teaser earlier, right?
Oh, I see.
So
what you're saying,
this shoe sold for 100. I got an offer for 113, right? And this was the shoe that the sale ended. I intentionally had it priced for 159, and I was gonna run a $50 off sale on that one. And then I was okay to see the slash price at 109. So I was like, okay, 109. Well, it was on that cool down space, kind of like what Glenn said. I'll run a 3-day sale, rest, and then another 3-day sale. It was on that cool down. So that buyer probably missed out on the sale. I was like, oh, let me like lowball this guy.
Yeah.
So it was listed for 159. The guy is like offered me 115 for it, and I was like, no, you're getting it, right? Because at that point I was in my head, I'm over $50 already on my pricing. I would have been fine with 109. Somebody asking a $10 off, I would still have given it to him. But now that guy offered me 115, way more than what I wanted if he bought it during sale. So that's kind of like the mentality of like, wait, like this guy just padded that, $90 sale that I gave that guy before because he was like, $25 over what I was expecting on the item. So
and you ended up with 2 Benjamins across those 2 sales.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the mentality of
Kenny
like
and Benny.
Yeah, so I like that.
I like that too.
I like that. Kenny.
Okay, let me ask you this though. So you got basically $6 more than you would have gotten when it was on sale.
Right.
What are you buying with those $6 extra? Noodles,
Ooh.
boba, coffee. What are you buying?
Toilet paper.
No.
That
I'm
wasn't
in
an option.
Oh, sorry.
Yo, I'm in a fruit kind of craze in the last 2 months.
Are you gonna get like exploding mango volcano
Yes,
dessert?
a mango.
What are those called? You know
Glenn,
what I'm
this
talking about?
This is me at the what's that? That's chain, right? Me Cocana? That photo that I sent you the other day that had the vaso de mango.
We don't have anything in
We
my
don't.
city.
You don't have like a. Well, obviously yours probably is OG.
We don't have anything in my city.
So no, it's So it's this Mexican kind of like dessert spot, has ice cream and everything like that, and has reposada, has like all this like yogurt drink and ice cream. But I go there for the fruits, like the fruit cocktail and everything like that. It's fresh. So like I've been going there, but the big cup of mango is starts at $6.99. So that's what I got. Yeah.
You want it, you gotta earn it.
Yeah. So that's what I bought, and I put some. I've been trying to speak Spanish there because they speak Spanish to me, but they know I don't speak Spanish, so like I end up having to always talk to somebody else.
That's fine.
So me and JC literally like we're like Google translated. I says menos chamoy because sometimes they just douse it with chamoy and it's just like super sour. Yeah.
Oh man.
And they said tahine. I said tahine. I said yeah, I like tahine. And it's like and I said just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Tahine with mango is so good.
I know. So so that's kind of like our new. That's my new dessert now. So that's what I get.
Nice.
I'm not throwing things off, but I did see that though from a different store selling hats and jerseys and stuff. Their promotion was 80% off.
Oh, that is redonkulous.
I know. So like a hat,
like $100 off.
Here's an example. Like so, a hat is originally $90.
Okay, but
80% off. It's $18, which is the price they want.
Is the retail price for that hat really $90?
No, it's
34. 44.
So this is how not to do this strategy. To just look absolutely ridiculous.
Right. It's not even a rare hat, right? It's
it's just like a regular hat, like a regular sports team. I think there was like Bears or Patriots.
Yeah, that's why you have to like be selective when doing this strategy.
I can be like salty sometimes, you guys, as you know, but like, if I'm the buyer looking at that and I look at that price, I'm thinking, do you think I'm an idiot? I'm not buying this from you. I'm not stupid. Like, what is this? Like, it's just, it doesn't even seem realistic, right?
Well, now that I'm going through it.
You're just trying to trick me into thinking I got a good deal instead of actually giving me a good deal. Yeah, I don't like that.
Because the newly listed items are extremely high because they're not part of the sale.
The sale yet?
Not yet.
Oh, I was going to ask you guys that. Do you block new
sale.
items from your sales?
What?
That's like
No,
a
no.
setting.
Well,
Like,
Oh, there is?
Like, there's a setting to include newer skipped items when they become, like, eligible for the sale. And you can also block price revisions, so you can't change the price while the sale's going. But a lot of times, I would just leave all my new and skip stuff. It could come in, right? Whenever it was eligible, it would come into the sale. But just this month, when I scheduled my stuff for the month, I decided to leave out the new stuff because I'm planning on listing a bunch in June. So, like, those new items will have more of a chance to sell at full price before I include them in any sale, just by virtue of being new to my store.
well, I think I wouldn't mind. You know what? I don't think they are included when I do list them. I think they're kind of similar to this store that I'm looking at right now. But I don't run these ridiculously crazy.
Price.
Like right now, Ken. Like there's shoes on here for $749. Like Nike
LOL.
shoes until the 80% off comes in. You know, whenever they run the sale again.
That one. See, that's why I chose $50 off. $50 off is a big amount of money, but it's not like you're giving like a $800 discount. I feel like it has to be within like 20 to, because like $50 off and $150, that's still 30% off.
Yeah.
I feel like the 30% is kind of just like the going standard rate. 40, you're like raising eyebrows. So I was like, Nike just did that over the weekend. I was like, this is good. But once you go in there, everything was retail. So I was like, no, none of these things are worth 50% off retail. Like I need 70. If you want to price everything at 70 at retail, give me 70% off. And obviously they're not gonna do that. It's fake sale, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that's I think at that point that's ridiculous, right? Like it has to be.
Well, that's what Anna said. Now you're just mocking the buyer.
Like, I will not be mocked, and I will not be your
wait.
I'm not stupid.
buyer.
No, I did have.
I'm not stupid.
I did buy this steel case. The brand is steel case. It's a monitor arm. Mm-hmm. They're like $300 monitor arm. And apparently this guy, it seems like this guy stumbled on a pallet of this.
Dang.
Right? And the guy just ran like a 75% off. And I'm like, this can't be real. So Anna, before getting insulted, try to feel that you're stealing a deal.
Okay, but he priced them at $300, not $900. That's the
That's
thing.
true.
Like $300 is the actual price. Fine,
Right,
I'm totally fine with that. Don't pretend like the actual retail price of this at full price is $900.
That is true.
And then try to sell it to me for $75.
Price it at $1,000 and then 90% off.
I mean, that's the ridiculous part.
Wait, should we test that? I'm gonna reprice all my dunks.
Feel free to put yourself out on that limb, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, try it out.
Increase all my Nike dunks to 900%, right?
Yeah.
And then run a 90% off.
Yeah, I want to see how that works.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
Next thing you know, I'm on best match on everything.
I'd be so mad. I'm like, I guess a lot of people have no shame, and they're fine with being mocked and thinking they got a good deal. No, but I would love to know if you could report back, Ken, about what the father of this strategy, Sneakers Envy, would say about that ridiculous markup to Markdown.
True.
Like that level. I'm curious what he would think about it.
Like, what if we just?
He obviously wouldn't do it, but I'm curious.
Let's
what
increase
he thinks.
everything by $1,000, and then run a
95% off sale.
$900 sale.
So ridiculous.
Everything's gonna be $900. Oh, shorts for $900 off. That could be a store name. The $99 off sale.
99% off sale.
Yeah, 99% off, right? Because they have like what's that $5 store?
Five Below.
Five Below, right? Five Below, like right. So that would be
95 below. Is that what you're saying?
95% below.
99 below. 99.
That's an interesting strategy.
Huh?
That's an interesting strategy. So
Because if you create, it's like it's not a dollar, right? Like you go to dollar store, Dollar Tree. Like like it's everything's very relevant, which within $1. But what if it's like you create that brand that you're just $999 off store.
Okay, but you already have a secondary brand.
What?
You're getting
You
it.
getting it?
You're kidding.
That's the name of your store.
And that's the way we have to end this episode.
Yeah,
You're getting it.
You're getting it, guys.
But yeah, we're just thinking about ridiculous things. But guys, but in all honesty, like I think all three of our strategies are pretty solid. It was pretty mixed too.
Yeah.
But evolve out
Yeah.
of all those I guess strategy or tactics. Create your own, make it your own.
Yeah, it's funny how much nuance there is, and pretty much
Right,
we're
yeah.
talking about markdown sales, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of little components, and it makes a big
Yeah.
difference.
Because Glenn builds it in and all his pricing, and because of your low cost, you could go swing wide anytime you want. And then for me, I feel like listening after listening to you guys, mine's way more complicated because I group
To
so
no
many
one's
things.
surprise. No.
Yeah. It's like, and then it's like, wait, this gotta be 50, and then yeah, so like I feel like I have to stay on top of like the market, which is why I have like a market day, like to relevant everything back to reality, because like the downfall of what I've done is sometimes if I forget to include them, they'll be like way overpriced market. So I feel like I have to like be on top of it more rather than just clicking sale all or run a sale between $0 to $100 and then $100 to $200. That could be a strategy too that we
Right.
could use. But Anna, you want to go to our housekeeping announcements and stuff like that?
I would love nothing more than to go to our housekeeping announcements. We do have a few important things, urgent things, kind of, for if you're listening to this the day the episode drops. Happy June 3rd to you, if that's the case. Because the first thing is that the Up and Running Grant applications for the eBay Up and Running Grant program, 50 people getting $10,000 plus a whole bunch of amazing, immeasurable benefits, are open only through June 7th. So get your application in if you haven't already. We're going to have the link to apply to it in our show notes for this episode, and it's in the past couple of episodes as well. And also, the day before that, June 6th, eBay's Summer Seller Check-In is happening from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific time, and you can go and register for that on the platform that they use for seller events through eBay. So definitely go check in. We will all be there at the check-in, hanging out in the chat and learning right along with everybody else. Whatever the updates are, should be pretty interesting. They already have some of the itinerary posted too for what's kind of going on in those 2 hours. So certainly check that out. And then, of course, as always, follow us on Instagram if you haven't already. We try to keep you updated there. We do some fun interactive stuff sometimes. Also follow the eBay for Sellers account. We're Seller Club Podcast, of course. eBay for Sellers, and also eBay Main Street on Instagram. We had a couple of episodes where we talked at length about all the stuff that eBay Main Street does. So definitely go check them out as well. And also, don't forget to check out the old eBay for Business podcast, which is a fan favorite of eBay sellers. And I don't know if we've mentioned that lately, but Griffin, Cammy are doing an amazing job over there, and it's awesome. So go listen to that if you need some more podcast content to get you through your work. I certainly do. I listen
A great
to podcasts
episode.
a lot
Go
more.
try out some new promotion, sales, something in your store, and report back to us on IG, or even want to send us a message and see how any of these strategies work for you and your store. All right, we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.
See ya.
Bye.